with public comment.
No? Oh.
I can't see you.
I noticed on today's closed session that you're going to look into hiring or considering hiring or look at resumes, whatever, about replacing county council. One thing I think the public is very aware of is your history of hiring county councils from Settlemire, California, Crabtree. I mean, I can go on and on. I don't know whether you knew any of these people, Aaron. You have that look on who are those people, but
Well, I know who they are.
they have an incredible history of hiring incompetent, lazy, they don't even live here. Your criteria has gotten so weak on this, and this is not your county council, but this is the county of Lassen's county council also. So what this position does affects all of us. So we're going to post all, if it's the candidate that everybody thinks it's going to be, then I don't know that this board wants to hear a daily account of personal history of this person. But Can We Help intends to do that. Over the past 5 or 6 years, we have collected, and it has intensified in the last couple of weeks, signed statements that are willing to be published on personal history of this person. So if you intend to go forward with this person, you are going to take the brunt of it, because Can We Help intends to post the personal history, and it's extensive, and there's a lot of angry people out there that couldn't even imagine you considering this person. So just to let you know, before you go into closed session, that's the way the lay of the land is right now today.
Anyone else?
My name is Jean Hodge. And I would just like to ask you to bear in mind today, as you make your decisions, the people are relying on you to combat waste, fraud, and abuse in government, and to also think about honesty, integrity, and transparency as you conduct your business, and to remind you that you adopted those principles of civility while you conduct your business. Thank you.
Thanks, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, well, thank you. Okay, with that, we'll go into closed session. Thanks.
Are you going to,
The board's going to convene in closed session to discuss public employee employment pursuant to Government Code Section 54954.5, possession being county council.
does it matter? You're my wife. That's just nice. Birthday was in town. Oh, I didn't know. Oh, there. Think they're sitting here? No. That's helpful, thank you. I have to ask you to leave. Hey!
You're an agent.
I know, but no, we don't. I'm Karen. Okay, what do we want? Hi Pablo, how are you? Nobody's sitting here. You can have that seat.
Is it an anonymous agenda item? No, they didn't do that.
That's why we actually do this.
Okay, we'll call the meeting to order.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Almighty God, we pray this day for your ever-enduring guidance. We ask you focus in wisdom and fortitude, that we may disperse our knowledge and facts intelligently among all humanity of whom we serve. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, welcome, thank you for coming, and we're going to start off with announcement of items discussed in closed session.
Mr. Chairman, the board met in closed session to discuss public employee employment pursuant to Government Code Section 54954.5, position being county council. The board gave direction to staff to schedule interviews for all applicants who have applied for that position.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to item B2, agenda approval, additions and/or deletions. It's been moved. Second. Okay. Before we take action, is there any public comment on this? Okay. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The chair votes aye. Alrighty, B3, public comment. This is the period of the meeting where you could feel free to comment on anything you'd like. If it's, the item is agendized, you could talk on it now or wait until that comes up. So, do we have any speaker cards? We'll move on to item D1 on agendized reports by board members. We'll start off with you, Supervisor Chung.
I have nothing.
Okay.
The only thing I would like to bring up is that last Thursday, our deputy sheriff, resident deputy sheriff up there, Lassen County, Scott Withrow, him and his wife were not home at the time, but anyway, because they were over in Reno, but his parents were there watching the kids, and there was two high school kids that happened to be driving down the highway, and they happened to notice the ridge line of the house was on fire, and so they were able to pull in there, and they grabbed some garden hoses and jumped up on the roof and alerted the grandparents and the kids inside to get out and call the fire department. If it wasn't for them, they would have lost their entire house. And so, anyway, I would like to recognize them, and maybe we can give them a proclamation. And they are Morgan Higgins and James Davidson. And it just so happens that Morgan Higgins, his dad, is a CDF firefighter. So anyway.
What was it?
it all worked out. to get out of school before. Good. That's all.
Thank you.
It was a very nice
That's
story.
a good teenage story.
It is.
Tom?
I attended the Standish Litchfield Fire Department meeting last night, and they're pretty concerned about their out-of-district runs up to Termo, and Richard, this is directed at you. How are we headed with that formation of that district up there? So, yeah, they're real concerned about their out-of-district runs up there, so the sooner we get that district organized, the better.
I had a conference call with NorCal EMS, and the California Department of Public Health continues to demand their $282,000. They say NorCal owes them. It did go to a settlement, and the judge ruled in favor of the state. NorCal said they could pay $8,000 a month back, or $8,000 a year, and California Department of Public Health demands $50,000 a year. So we are in the process of trying to come up with a settlement that, and the settlement can be set up, the payments between NorCal EMS and California Department of Public Health. The judge left that up to them to decide. At this point, the California Department of Public Health is still insisting on $50,000 a year, which NorCal cannot do. About $8,000 they can come up with. So they're asking for letters, and letters from the counties to our assemblyman, which in this case would be Brian, to get involved and help make that a reasonable settlement to keep NorCal in business. Otherwise,
How much did that pay back overall?
$282,000.
It's like a 6-year payment that is what they're wanting.
Right. And I mean, they don't have to. I don't know what the deal with California Department of Public Health is, but why they think they have to have $50,000 a year. Now I just put NorCal out of business. They'll be done.
Well, maybe that's what they want.
Or maybe that is what they want, and that's exactly what, we're thinking too. But anyhow, $8,000 is the amount that we can, or come up with in our budget.
Are we on the hook for any of that 50,000?
No. So anyhow, I'm putting together a letter, because some of the counties already got letters put together, so I'm going to be putting together a letter, put it on our next agenda to have a supportive letter to, actually, it'll be to, the letter will be to Dr. Ron Chapman, who is the director of California Department of Public Health, and it's copy CC to Brian. That's it.
Thank you. I have nothing to report on, so thank you for that. Okay, let's take up item G, our information and consent calendar. Any items that any board member wishes to be pulled? Is there any items the public wishes to be pulled from the consent calendar?
Item H.
Oh, well, we haven't got to the H yet.
Oh.
We're just gonna,
Is that,
we're just dealing
isn't
with
that
G.
underneath the consent calendar? I mean, one
Um,
vote. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you.
Okay, we'll bring it back for action. Do we have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent calendar.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the chair votes aye. Alrighty, we'll wait a few seconds and we'll move on to our D2, 9:40 time certain.
You want to keep it F1?
Okay, item D2 is our child support services, and it's a very proud moment, for the county, and very glad we're able to agendize this for recognition. It's really quite an award, so for that.
Good morning. I'm Kelly Cody. I'm the program manager for Lassen County's Department of Child Services. I have with me Miss Leslie Bell. She's our regional administrator for our division, and she's going to do the presenting.
I'm going to share the good news.
Thank you.
How's that?
Good morning. On behalf of the California Department of Child Support Services, I am pleased to be here before you today and recognize the Lassen County Local Child Support Agency as being one of the top 10 in the state of California. We just gave the performance awards for federal fiscal year 2013, and Lassen was recognized as one of the top 10 in the state in comparison with 51 other local child support agencies. And that means that they outperformed in paternity establishment, cases with support orders, cases with collections on current support, collections on arrears, and cost effectiveness. And so it's a significant achievement, and I want to thank Maria and Kelly and all of the staff on the great job that they've done. I'd also like to recognize that in addition, in federal fiscal year 2013, they distributed over $2.8 million to the children and families in Lassen, which is a significant accomplishment. And for every dollar expended in the program, in federal fiscal year 2013, they collected $349. So their cost effectiveness is above the state average of $254, which is a great accomplishment. So I just want to share that and congratulate them on a job well done.
Well, thank you, and we have something for the department, but firstly, I'd like to give you.
I'd like to have the staff stand up. Everybody's here, so you could see everybody that works in our
Well,
office.
let's present this to everybody, maybe everybody can come forward. Yeah, on behalf of the board and I think of the community as a whole, we're very proud of the achievement, and so we had a token memento made that you can hopefully find a place in the hallway, in the entryway there. And, Lassen County's Child Support Services is hereby recognized for their achievement of California's Top 10 Award in overall performance, meeting federal performance standards in 2012 and 2013. Your dedication to the families of Lassen County is honorable, and we congratulate Child Support Services on earning California's Top 10 Award. Lassen County Board of Supervisors dated March 18th, 2014. And it's really, truly special, and I mean, you guys all, team effort, I'm sure, is a really great achievement. So as one board member, I'm really excited and proud of the efforts, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to introduce my staff, if that's okay. This is Cindy Simmons. She's a child support specialist. This is Carly Winship. She's our lead. This is Kim Dowden. She's our child support supervisor. This is Jackie McDowell. She's also a child support specialist. This is our new addition to our family. This is Geraldine.
Harry.
She's our child support assistant. This is Debbie Kincaid. She is our technician, our one and only. This is Patty Stambrook. She's a child support specialist. And this is, we call her George, but her name is Deborah. Deborah Kinchlow. She's also a child support specialist. Did I forget it? Okay. Thank you.
Okay, let's move on down to item F1, Lassen County Children and Families Commission, looking to fill a vacancy. Richard, do you want to give a little intro to this one? Got one. Hi, Rhoda.
I'm sorry.
The recommendation is to consider appointing May Sherman to fill the vacancy.
I can make a motion to that.
Okay. We have, okay, it's been moved and seconded to appoint May Sherman. Before we take action, is there any public comment on this matter? Okay, if not, all those in favor of the appointment say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. So the appointment May. Let's go to D4, the recognition committee presentation.
Not to me.
That's not a time certain.
Well, it is right after the 10
Oh,
o'clock proclamation.
Oh, we
have to do the
wait.
proclamation first,
Is
yeah.
that the same with 5,
You're all to follow.
6?
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry.
My bad.
Yeah, go Rich.
Okay, yeah, we'll move over to H1, the minutes of January 28th, 2014. Any public comment on this? Looking for a motion to approve the minutes.
We'll move approval.
Been moved and seconded, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
I'm sure.
I'll make the motion.
Well, he can do the second.
I think the motion you can check.
I'll second.
Okay, so we'll redo the vote. So all those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. One abstention. Alrighty, let's take up H2. This is administrative services personnel. Richard, would you like to?
Sure, I'll start this off and I'll turn it over to Cheryl. It's come to our attention over the last couple of months that a few of the policy items in the personnel rules and regulations may not be the most efficient way to recruit and conduct business. The first being the requirement that department head vacancies be recruited statewide. In most cases, that is the recommended alternative for recruiting those positions, but there are instances where the board would prefer to appoint from within or locally, and so that the first change will allow for that. The other somewhat related issue is when we have vacancies, particularly in higher level department head type positions for medical reasons or what have you that are temporary in nature, the code currently, or the policy currently allows the board and the CAO to fill those vacancies for 6 months with an additional 6-month extension. What we found recently is in some cases we have individuals out on leave in excess of a year and there's no provision to keep those acting appointments in place, and so that would extend would allow for appointing acting positions longer than 1 year. And then I'll let Cheryl address the employment status.
I'm Cheryl Douglas from the Personnel Department, and we feel we have a need to add employment status to our personnel rules, allowing the departments to hire a temporary, not just temporary, but an employee that will allow them to have benefits and continued employment until the other employees come back from approved leaves. And that's necessary because right now, when we hire a temporary employee, they're limited to either 960 hours a fiscal year for a retiree, or 1,000 hours in that fiscal year for a regular employee, a temporary employee. And that limits the department, once they train this person, and the need is still there to have that person work while the other employee is on leave. So we've asked to have this employment status increased to allow a substitute appointment. Are there any questions?
Questions of board members? Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, I believe was some, Iona wanted to comment on this item.
Iona McCain, isn't it wise to not eliminate the statewide advertisement because you have a bigger pool of people to look, to pick from as far as qualifications are concerned? It seems to me that if you keep things kind of like in a knit little department, that you don't get always the best person for that position. You might get someone that's, trained, we'll say, but it might not be the best person for that position. I don't see why it would be too expensive to go out and have us on a statewide looking for new employment here in Lassen County. It might be wise that you keep it open and not shut it off. Also, what is the difference between a CEO and a CAO? Chief Executive Officer, Chief Administrative Officer, what's the difference between the two? Can anybody answer that?
Okay, well, let's go, okay, let me, regarding the statewide or not statewide, historically, we've advertised statewide, and it's,
Yeah,
as you said, it's been, and where's our applicants?
the cost for recruiting statewide, typically, I think Cheryl can help me, is around $3,000 to $5,000.
It can be very expensive, and thousands of dollars.
And in most cases, that's the advisable approach, but there have been instances in the past where the board had indicated, and CAO or CEO for that matter, have indicated a desire to not go to that expense if there was somebody in-house that was capable of the job, and that was the choice. This just allows for the freedom to do either way.
And it's not
They're not
reducing it from
eliminating.
statewide to in-house,
Yeah.
it's also regional, Northern California. It just gives you
Yeah.
the freedom, that's
So
all.
if there's a good, basically, if there's a good applicant, we could save the general fund the $5,000 it would otherwise take to do the position. And then Greta, could you just speak quickly to the CAO, CEO?
Or I could do that.
Okay, go.
Currently, the two terms are synonymous. CAO and CAO are in the personnel rules and regulations synonymously. The board has expressed a desire in the future to change those duties in the future, and we'll be working on those with the board.
Change the duties?
Yes.
So they are different, aren't they?
Now, no.
No, so you're changing the duties by changing the title, CAO to CEO, is that the idea? You said it's changing the duties, responsibilities,
In the future, yes. Now, no.
so it will change.
It may change.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, is there any other public comment on this item? Okay, any other discussion, further discussion from the board? Okay, the action request is to adopt the resolution. Is there a motion? Thank you. It's been moved, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The chair votes aye. So, passes. Thank you.
Thanks, Cheryl.
Okay, let's take up item H6, to deal with appointments, appointment of 2 alternate delegates for the rural counties environmental services. Would you like to do the honor or the intro?
So the requested action is to consider appointments for the ESJPA and to appoint Tom Valentino and Paula Welsh from Lassen Regional Solid Waste Authority to be the delegates. Normally, this would be done in January when all the other appointments are done. For some reason, it was not. We'll schedule that next year. And that's really all I know about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Need a motion, Mr. Pat?
Okay, we have a motion for the appointment. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, before we take any action, I'd like to allow public comment on this. Is there any members of the public who would like to comment on the proposed appointment? Okay, if not, if there's no further discussion, then we will take action. So it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye. Okay. Okay, we'll move on to item H7, behavioral health appointment.
Sorry about it. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, board members. I'm Melanie Brawley from the Department of Health and Social Services. Apologize for my voice. Lucky for you, it means I can't talk a whole lot. We have another applicant for the Behavioral Health Advisory Board, and I've been trying really desperately to get this board seated so we can get some work done and have a retreat going on the things that we want to do. This is another applicant I have before you. Her name is Maureen Pearson, and we're happy to recommend her for your appointment, and that's the action we're requesting this morning.
Thank you. Any questions with board members? Okay, is there any public comment on this item H7, the behavioral health appointment? Okay, thank you. Hope you feel better soon.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll bring it back. We're looking for a motion to make the appointment.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the chair votes aye. Thank you. Thank you. Let's take up item H11, has to do with the Lassen County Coordination Council.
So I attended the last couple of coordination council meetings, the most recent being last night. It's become quite apparent in that group, and we've got a couple of people, including the chairman of that group, and I guess all were that want to address this issue, but it's become apparent that that group requires some resources in terms of staff to manage the meetings and prepare or perform some of the clerical duties for the group. And the discussion